Wang Nan returned from the restroom and happened to see Qin Wan supporting Su Kang, feeling a pang of envy. However, seeing Su Kang's reserved demeanor, she couldn't help but smile. Returning to her seat, she took out her phone and sent Su Kang a QQ message. "How are you finding the first meal in the Imperial City?" Su Kang was unaware of Wang Nan's message. He sat quietly in his seat. After the small incident, the banquet quickly concluded, and the guests began to depart one by one. The Su family and Qin Wan saw off the last guest at the hotel entrance. Qin Wan, slightly unsteady on her feet, walked towards a Range Rover. Su Kang wanted to help her, but Qin Wan waved him off and said to Qin Jinjiang, "Dad, I'll take Xiao Kang with me tonight." Su Jinjiang had intended for Su Kang to sleep at his place, but Su Kang was clearly closer to Qin Wan, so he agreed. "All right." Then he said to Su Kang, "Your mother had a bit too much to drink. Make sure someone prepares some hangover soup for her tonight." Su Kang readily agreed. Su Jinjiang continued. "The gifts received today totaled around 7-8 million. More guests will come tomorrow. We'll deposit it all into a card for you and then give it to you." Su Kang said, "Do I need this money?" His grandmother, Qin Yorong, smiled and said, "Everyone came to see you, so of course it's yours." Su Kang scratched his head and accepted. Qin Yorong added, "Come to the Su house again tomorrow. Your grandparents have also prepared a gift for you. There were too many people today, so we didn't bring it out." Su Kang said, "Thank you, Grandma. I've already received enough gifts today. Really, it's not necessary." Grandma smiled. "It's not anything expensive, just a token of your grandparents' affection. You must accept it." Su Kang, unable to refuse, agreed. He asked, "Grandpa, will there be more people coming tomorrow?" Su Jinjiang said, "Actually, we only informed a few old friends about your return. But in this day and age, information is hard to keep secret. It spreads quickly. Everyone who's even remotely related wants to come. When the news spreads further tomorrow, I'm afraid even more people will show up." He glanced at the tipsy Qin Wan and said to Su Kang, "Many of these people are here because of your mother. She's really quite influential now." Su Kang got into the Range Rover with Qin Wan, feeling overwhelmed. The gifts he received today were more than an ordinary family could earn in a lifetime. This disparity gave Su Kang a huge shock. The driver was Qin Wan's personal chauffeur, a man around 50 years old. He drove both quickly and steadily. Qin Wan closed her eyes and rested as soon as she got in the car. She was indeed drunk. The car reeked of alcohol. Su Kang, feeling bored, took out his phone and saw Wang Nan's message. He replied, "It was all right. I ate too much and my stomach is still bloated." Exiting the chat, he saw 6 or 7 new friend requests on QQ, all from Wang Nan's group of girlfriends. Su Kang accepted them all, and soon his QQ was buzzing nonstop. The girls quickly sent messages, asking if he had arrived home, whether he was staying at the Su or Qin residence, and how he felt going from an orphan to a young master of a wealthy family. Su Kang was speechless at these questions but still replied briefly. However, the girls had too many questions, one after another, and Su Kang couldn't keep up. Then, Wang Nan sent another message. "I was just taking a shower. Are you home yet?" Su Kang felt differently about Wang Nan. Her beauty and temperament were outstanding, and coupled with the arranged marriage, a strange feeling stirred within him. Su Kang replied, "Not yet, still on the road." "Are you going to your mother's place?" she replied. "Yes, she's right beside me." After a while, she replied, "She probably didn't see me chatting with you, right?" Su Kang turned to look at Qin Wan, who was leaning to the side, eyes closed, with a soft snore. He replied, "No, she's drunk and asleep in the car." Worried she might catch a cold, Su Kang said to the driver, "Sir, could you please turn up the air conditioning temperature? My mom seems to have fallen asleep." The driver, Li He, turned up the air conditioning and said, "It's been years since President Qin had a drink. This is the first time I've seen her so drunk that she's passed out." Su Kang was curious and asked, "Then why did she drink so much today?" Li He smiled and said, "Young Master Su, have you never had a drink?" Su Kang shook his head. "No. Usually when people are drinking, they're quite aware of their own state. But when you are in a particularly good mood, and the atmosphere of the party is also very lively, you will unknowingly drink too much," Li He explained. Su Kang fell silent. In short, Qin Wan was in a very good mood today, and the people drinking with her were also in a good mood. As for why they were in a good mood, it was definitely related to him. This heavy motherly love. His phone buzzed again. Su Kang checked, and saw it was a message from Wang Nan. "I've prepared a gift for you. I'll give it to you tomorrow." Su Kang replied, "Thank you, but really, it's not necessary. I've already received enough gifts today." Wang Nan replied, "No, you accepted everyone else's gifts, why not mine?" Su Kang was surprised. She was keeping a certain distance when they first met today, so why was she so enthusiastic now? Was it because the arranged marriage was putting pressure on her? He replied, Wang Nan, the arranged marriage was just a joke between our parents. Don't take it seriously. It's all about free love nowadays. What are you talking about? I'm just continuing the long-standing friendship between the Su and Wang families. Who's talking about an arranged marriage? A toad wanting to eat swan meat. Su Kong scratched his head awkwardly and was about to reply when a phone rang. It was Qin Wan's phone. Qin Wan woke up, groggily took out her phone, and answered, Hello. Yes, I had a bit to drink. On the way. Should be home soon. Is Xiao Kong's room ready? All right, see you later. Su Kong saw Qin Wan hang up and said, Mom, are you feeling better now? After resting for a while, Qin Wan was clearly in better shape. She said, Yes, much better. Then she turned to the driver, Li He, and asked, Brother Li, how much longer until we get home? Li He replied, About 5 or 6 more minutes. Qin Wan turned to Su Kong and said, You must be exhausted after traveling all day and then attending a banquet. Su Kong was puzzled. It's all right, I don't feel that tired. Then he thought of Wang Nan and said, Mom, can you tell me about the arranged marriage with the Wang family? Qin Wan asked, Did Wang Lin mention this to you today? Su Kong replied, No, Aunt Su Xiaolan mentioned it to Uncle Wang, and then Uncle Wang agreed. Qin Wan smiled. I saw you with Wang Nan during the banquet today. How is it? Do you like her? Su Kong said shyly, Mom, we only just met today. Qin Wan laughed. You and Wang Nan were born in the same hospital, just 2 days apart. Back then, the Wang and Su families were very close. Your grandfather and her grandfather were so happy that they talked about arranging a marriage. But it was just a casual remark at the time. Su Kong said, So it was more of a joke back then. Qin Wan nodded. The Wang family has been having a tough time these past few years. First, the Wang family patriarch passed away, and their political influence declined. Then Wang Nan's father's company faced many setbacks, and their assets shrank by more than half. The Wang family is declining, so he really wants to acknowledge this marriage to help the Wang family out of their predicament. What about Wang Nan? Is she willing? Su Kong asked. Qin Wan frowned. In life, not everything can be perfect. Just like certain social engagements. Do you think you can just not drink if you don't want to? You have to adapt to the environment. Unless you are strong enough for the environment to adapt to you. Su Kong was speechless. He thought about how he was working as a bricklayer in a small county town a few days ago. Everyone else was working indoors, while he and another person were working outside under the scorching sun. What could he do? He couldn't do the skilled work, and he couldn't do the heavy lifting either. Without strength, he had to follow others' arrangements. Qin Wan continued, Wang Nan is young now and cares about face. But after some time, when she figures things out, she might come looking for you. Su Kong looked at Qin Wan in surprise, thinking, No need to wait, she's already looking for me. Su Kong asked curiously, Why? Qin Wan said, It's like a college graduate looking for a job. Everyone wants a high-paying job. It's the same principle. Su Kong said, Oh, and then he heard Qin Wan say, We're home. Get ready to get out. Su Kong looked out the window. The car had just entered a residential area. The car continued to drive slowly. There were no tall buildings in the area, just rows of high-end villas. Finally, it stopped in front of a 4-story villa. Qin Wan opened the car door and said, Let's get out. Su Kong followed Qin Wan out of the car and saw Lin Yongjian already standing at the door, with 7 or 8 people, both men and women, behind him. Professor Lin said, Xiao Kong is back, coming quickly. Su Kong said, Uncle Lin, who are these people? Our house servants, come in first, Lin Yongjian said. Entering the house, he saw the floor paved with black marble, bright as a mirror, luxurious crystal chandeliers, imported designer chairs, and beautifully carved bookcases. The hall alone was indescribably luxurious. Qin Wan led Su Kong to sit on the sofa. An aunt handed over a cup of honey water and said, Madam, this is honey water to help you sober up. Qin Wan took the honey water, took a sip, and asked, Where is Yi? Lin Yongjian said, She's in her room, probably playing games. All she does is either go out and fool around or play games. Her brother is back, and she doesn't even come out to greet him. Qin Wan frowned. Lin Yongjian smiled awkwardly. He also had no control over this daughter. He said to Qin Wan, She's always been like this. You had some drinks today, go take a shower and rest early. I'll take Xiao Kong to see his room. Qin Wan said, I'll take him. Su Kong was about to get up when his phone rang. He took it out and saw that it was Teacher Chow. Su Kong quickly answered, Teacher Chow, what's the matter? Teacher Chow said, Su Kong, are you home yet? Yes, I'm at my mom's house now, Su Kong said. Then your mom is with you. Su Kong said strangely, Yes, Teacher Chow. Do you need something from my mom? It's like this. Your mom gave me a bottle of Moutai this morning. Just now, your teacher's wife was curious and took a look. She found 200,000 yuan in cash under the bag. Give me an account number, and I'll transfer the money to you, Teacher Chow said. Su Kong turned to Qin Wan and said, Mom, was there 200,000 yuan in cash in the wine you gave to Teacher Chow this morning? Qin Wan nodded and said, Give me the phone, I'll talk to him. Su Kong handed over the phone. Qin Wan took it and directly turned on the speakerphone, saying, Hello, Teacher Chow. It's me, Su Kang's mother. Teacher Chow said, Hello, Su Kang's mother. Why did you put 200,000 yuan in cash under the wine bag? Give me a card number, and I'll transfer the money to you. Qin Wan said, Teacher Chow, this money is a thank you. Su Kong got lost from me when he was a child. If he hadn't met you, he might have become a street punk or a beggar. To other students, you were a dedicated teacher, but to Su Kong, you were a teacher and a father figure. Teacher Chow, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Teacher Chow said on the other end of the phone, It's my duty as a teacher. Qin Wan said, Ordinary teachers wouldn't pay his tuition and make him chicken soup. Su Kong looked at Qin Wan in surprise. How did she know that Teacher Chow made him chicken soup? Teacher Chow said on the other end of the phone, But 200,000 yuan is too much. I can't accept it. Qin Wan said, I'm a businesswoman. That bit of money is nothing to me. Even so, it's still a lot of money. Teacher Chow, just think of this money as a scholarship and living expenses for Chow Qian's college education. That's fine, right? Qin Wan said. After Qin Wan finished speaking, there was a burst of noise from Teacher Chow's side. It was Mrs. Liang and Teacher Chow arguing. After a while, the phone spoke again. This time it was Mrs. Liang's voice. Su Kang's mother, thank you, I'll accept it on behalf of our little Qian. When she finishes college, we'll return this money to you. Qin Wan said, Mrs. Liang, you're too kind. There's no need to return this money. Do you have anything else to say to Su Kong? No. I'll hang up now so as not to disturb your rest, Mrs. Liang said. After speaking, she hung up the phone. Qin Wan returned the phone to Su Kong and said, Your teacher Chow really treats you well. When you have time, take some gifts to visit him. Su Kong said, Yes, but Mom, why didn't you tell me you were giving money to Teacher Chow this morning? Teacher Chow called just now, and I was completely confused. Qin Wan smiled and said, I was afraid you'd give it away if you knew this morning. Come on, I'll show you to your room. Qin Wan took Su Kong up to the third floor and said, The first floor is the living room, kitchen, and the servants' rooms. The second floor is the guest rooms. When your grandparents were alive, they lived on the second floor. The third floor is where our family lives. The fourth floor is mainly for leisure, such as the gym, card room, billiard room, study room, etc. Qin Wan pushed open a door, turned on the light, and continued, This is your room. See if you're satisfied. Su Kong looked inside. He saw a large bed, a wall-mounted LCD TV opposite the bed, and closets on both sides of the TV. There was also a massage chair, a desk with a desktop computer, a laptop, and a tablet. Next to the desk was a bookshelf and the suitcase he brought from the small county town. To the left of the door was another room. Su Kong opened the door and found it was a bathroom. Su Kong looked at the toilet and muttered, Mom, do we have any squat toilets in the house? Qin Wan smiled and said, Not used to a sitting toilet? Su Kong nodded. Qin Wan shouted downstairs, Sister Lu, are you there? After a while, an aunt came running up and said, Madam, what is it? Qin Wan said, Tomorrow, ask a few people to change the toilet in Xiao Kong's room to a squat toilet. Qin Wan then said to Su Kong, Xiao Kong, see if there's anything else you need to adjust. No, I like it very much. Su Kong looked at his room, and the feeling of satisfaction was almost overflowing. When he was a child, he lived in an orphanage. Later, when he started middle school, he lived on campus and rented rooms for the convenience of studying. In order to save a little rent, he often moved from place to place with a bunch of bottles and cans. The bittersweet experiences, only he knew. Qin Wan said, Rest early tonight. I'll accompany you to the Su family tomorrow. Su Kong said, Thank you, Mom. You should also rest early. After Qin Wan left, Su Kong took out his phone and saw that Wang Nan had sent several messages. The first message asked why he didn't reply. The second message asked if he was angry, and the third message was an apology, saying she shouldn't have said anything about a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Su Kong looked at his phone. It was almost 11 o'clock. He didn't know if she was asleep. After thinking for a while, he replied, Are you asleep? Sorry, I just got home and haven't checked my phone. Su Kong just sent it, and the phone beeped. He picked it up and saw that Wang Nan had already replied, You're home. I still don't know what the house of the richest man in the capital looks like. Take a video and show me. Su Kong thought, Does she type so fast? He replied, oh, okay, I'll take a shower first and then take a video for you. The other side quickly replied with 2 words, okay. Su Kong opened his suitcase, took out a set of clothes, and went to the bathroom. He fiddled for a long time, but the shower wouldn't work. Who should he ask for help? His mother was probably taking a shower too. His sister had always disliked him. As for Uncle Lin and the servants, he was too embarrassed to ask them. Finally, he had no choice but to take a picture of the shower with his phone and send it to Wang Nan, asking, how do I get water out of this thing? The other side first sent a question mark, then a QQ video call. Su Kong quickly found a pair of pants to put on, then answered the call. Finally, under Wang Nan's guidance, the shower worked, and she also taught Su Kong how to adjust the water temperature. After taking a shower, Su Kong felt refreshed. He took out his phone and took a video from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor in one take. There were still a few ants cleaning on the 1st floor. Seeing Su Kong holding his phone strangely, they whispered to each other. Su Kong felt a little embarrassed. After sending the video to Wang Nan, he said to the ant who was mopping the floor, a friend of mine wants to see the house I'm living in now. After speaking, he blushed and hurried upstairs, leaving the ants laughing softly. Su Kong returned to his room and took out the clothes from his suitcase, folded them, and put them in the closet. In another suitcase, besides textbooks and exercise books, there were a few novels, his diary, and the yellow book. Su Kong put the novels on the bookshelf and locked the diary in the desk drawer. He decided to keep the yellow book and the textbooks locked in the suitcase. Su Kong took out a diary and wanted to write something, but he couldn't find a pen. Suddenly, his phone beeped. He opened it and saw that it was Wang Nan again. Your house is so luxurious. Congratulations, Su Kong, the other party replied. Thank you. It's so late. Why aren't you asleep yet? Tomorrow is Zhao Li's birthday. She asked me to invite you to go out with us. Do you have time? Su Kong remembered that among the girls he added on QQ, there was one with the nickname Xiao Lily who said it was her birthday tomorrow and invited him out. He had refused at the time. He replied, I have to go to my grandfather's house tomorrow. The other party replied with an oh. Su Kong felt that Wang Nan seemed unhappy again. Was it not good to refuse a girl so directly? Su Kong replied again, if I have time tomorrow, I'll definitely go. Then Zhao Li and I will come to find you tomorrow. Good night. Su Kong replied, good night. The next day, Su Kong woke up very early. He picked up his phone and saw that it was not yet 6 o'clock. Su Kong got up, washed up briefly, and opened the door to find it quiet outside. Not wanting to disturb others, he returned to his room, sat at his desk, and turned on the computer. Several popular games were already downloaded on the desktop. Su Kong chose one and played for a while, but he quickly found it dull. Su Kong pulled open the curtains. The sun had just risen, a vibrant red but not yet dazzling. Sunlight filtered through the poplar trees by the road, scattering sparsely across his yard. The yard was filled with various plants, tall and short, lush and green, all reaching up to absorb the day's first sunlight and dew. Su Kong was in a good mood. He felt like the plants in the yard, grounded and full of hope. He opened the door again and tiptoed downstairs, only to find the housekeepers already cooking in the kitchen. They greeted the young master warmly upon seeing him. Su Kong went into the yard and wandered around curiously. The yard was large, filled with all kinds of flowers, plants, and trees. Su Kong wasn't very knowledgeable about plants, but some of the landscape trees clearly looked expensive. In the southeast corner of the yard, there was also a vegetable garden. Su Kong walked over and saw a variety of vegetables: cucumbers, string beans, chili peppers, and more. Su Kong tiptoed into the vegetable garden, saw no one around, and picked a cucumber. There was a faucet nearby, so he washed it quickly and sat on a stone bench to eat it. At this moment, Qinwan stood by the window, watching Su Kong eating the cucumber he'd just picked, and she couldn't help but smile. She opened the window and called out, Xiao Kong, pick one for me too. Startled by the sudden voice, Su Kong looked up and saw his smiling mother. He smiled back and picked 3 more cucumbers. After washing them, he took them inside, just as Qinwan came downstairs. Qinwan asked, Xiao Kong, why didn't you sleep in a little longer? I'm used to it, Su Kong replied. Qinwan saw the cucumbers in his hand and asked with a smile, why did you pick so many? Su Kong handed her a cucumber and said, I didn't know if Uncle Lin and Yi would want one, so I picked a couple extra. Qinwan led Su Kong to the dining table and broke a cucumber in half. She took a bite and said, your Uncle Lin really likes fruits and vegetables. He'll definitely enjoy this when he comes down. As for your sister, she won't be up before noon. Su Kong was speechless. His sister could really sleep in. Qinwan continued, munching on the cucumber. Freshly picked cucumbers are just different, so crisp and sweet. Just then, the housekeeper brought breakfast to the table. Bread, noodles with gravy, eggs, fruit, and more. Chin Wan and Su Kong ate and chatted. Su Kong asked, "Mom, why do we have a vegetable garden in our yard?" Chin Wan explained, "Last year, your grandma stayed with us for a few months. She couldn't sit still, so she started a small vegetable garden in the yard. This spring, your grandma passed away, but I kept the garden for her." Seeing Chin Wan's somber expression, Su Kong regretted asking the question. He didn't know how to comfort her, so he just focused on his food. Noticing Su Kang's bowed head, Chin Wan said, "When your grandma was alive, her biggest wish was to see you. Tomorrow is the weekend. I'll take you to visit her, okay?" Su Kong nodded and asked, "Mom, are you going to Grandpa's with me later?" Chin Wan replied, "I have to go to the company in the morning. I'll be at your grandpa's around 11 o'clock." Su Kong said, "Oh," feeling a little disappointed. His grandparents, uncles, and aunts were naturally very kind to him, but they hadn't spent much time together, so there was a bit of a distance. He was shy, and with so many people coming and going at the Su family, he still felt nervous interacting with them. Chin Wan seemed to read his mind and said, "How about you come to the company with me? After I'm done with work, we can go to your grandpa's together." Su Kong nodded happily. Su Kong and Chin Wan arrived at Icon Group just after 7:30 a.m. The company's working hours started at 8:30 a.m., so the building was mostly empty. Chin Wan took Su Kong to her office as the chairman and gave him a laptop. "You can play whatever you want," she said. Then she opened another door and added, "If you get tired, you can rest on this bed. There's a toilet here, but if you're not used to it, there's also a squat toilet in the restroom outside." Su Kong quickly waved his hands and said, "Mom, you go ahead and work. Don't worry about me." Chin Wan smiled, handed him an access card, and said, "The 16th floor is the cafeteria, and the 17th floor is the fitness center. If you get bored, you can go check them out. But don't be too loud and disturb others' work." Su Kong took the card and asked, "Mom, will you be okay without the card?" Chin Wan laughed. "I have a password. It's the same." Then she sat down at her desk, turned on her computer, and started working. Su Kong leaned on the sofa nearby, took out his phone, saw no messages from Wang Nan, and downloaded a casual match 3 game to play. As the start of the workday approached, the building gradually became livelier. Chin Wan picked up the phone on her desk, dialed a number, and said, "Xiao Xiao, have someone bring some fruit to my office, and notify the attendees that today's meeting will start promptly at 8:40. Then she hung up. Soon after, there was a knock on the door. Su Kong quickly got up and opened it. Zhao Rong stood outside, holding a fruit platter. She was visibly surprised to see Su Kong, but quickly smiled and said, "Young Master Su is here." "Hello, Sister Zhao," Su Kong replied. Chin Wan said, "Xiao Zhao, put the fruit on the side table." Zhao Rong placed the fruit in front of Su Kong and smiled at the reserved young man. She had wondered why Chin Wan suddenly wanted fruit today. It turned out it was for her precious son. Chin Wan then asked, "Xiao Zhao, have all the attendees for today's meeting been notified?" "Yes, they're mostly in the conference room now," Zhao Rong replied. Chin Wan nodded and said, "Let's go too." Then she turned to Su Kong and said, "Xiao Kong, wait for me here. After the meeting, we'll go to your grandpa's together." Su Kong nodded. "Okay, Mom." Once Chin Wan left, Su Kong was alone in the office. He ate a few grapes and suddenly felt a stomachache. He grabbed some tissues from the desk and rushed out to find a restroom. Since this floor was the chairman's office, there weren't many people working outside. Everyone was busy with their own tasks, so no one noticed the young man running out of the chairman's office. After taking care of his needs, Su Kong returned to Chin Wan's office door, only to find it locked. He searched his pockets but realized he hadn't brought the access card. At this moment, a few employees stood up, looking at him curiously. Su Kong blushed, afraid of being mistaken for a thief, and walked away awkwardly. He knew Chin Wan was in a meeting, so he didn't call to disturb her, but he also didn't dare to wander too far. He found a small stool in a corner, sat down, and started playing his match 3 game again. After a while, a female employee carrying a computer tower passed by. She looked at Su Kong curiously and asked, "Are you new here?" Su Kong felt nervous and replied, "No, I came with my mom." Sun Qian understood. During the summer and winter breaks, many employees brought their children to work because they didn't have childcare. However, she had never seen someone as old as Su Kong. Sun Qian asked again, "Who's your mom?" Su Kong answered, "Chin Wan." Sun Qian smiled. "So your mom is Chin Man? I used to work in the same department as her." Su Kong, hearing her confident tone, mistakenly believed her. He then heard her say, "Young man, help me out and I'll treat you to milk tea at noon." Su Kong asked, "Help with what?" Sun Qian handed the computer tower to Su Kong and said, "Help me move these computer towers to the 12th floor." So, for the rest of the time, Su Kong followed Sun Qian around, helping her move old computers to the storage room on the 12th floor. Su Kong was young and energetic, and he was also honest and hardworking. Sun Qian was delighted and kept praising him. Although Su Kong was a bit tired, the feeling of being needed filled him with a sense of accomplishment. 2 hours later, Su Kong was carrying 2 computer monitors, following Sun Qian. He heard her say, "These are the last 2 monitors. After we move these, we're done. I'll take you to the 16th floor for milk tea later. Their cakes are also very good. You'll definitely like them." Su Kong said, "No need, Sister Sun. My mom and I are going out at noon." Sun Qian was about to speak when 2 people approached from the opposite direction. She quickly pulled Su Kong aside and greeted, "Good morning, President Qin." Su Kong looked up curiously and saw Qin Wan and Zhao Rong walking towards them. He happily called out, "Mom, you're done." Qin Wan noticed Su Kong as soon as he looked up. She saw him holding 2 computer monitors and asked curiously, "Xiao Kong, what are you doing?" "Helping move things." Sun Qian stood to the side, stunned. Who could have imagined that the young man sitting in the corner, playing on his phone, was the big boss's son? Sun Qian quickly explained, "President Qin, I thought he was Qin Man's son from the General Affairs Department. I saw him sitting there bored, so I asked him to help out." She quickly took the computer monitors from Su Kang's hands. Qin Wan looked at Su Kong, who was drenched in sweat. She felt uncomfortable. She wouldn't even let her own son do heavy work, and this woman had put him to work. Qin Wan's tone was cold. "Can't you handle it yourself?" Other employees noticed the situation and, seeing Qin Wan's expression, quickly buried their heads in their work, ignoring the gossip. Sun Qian lowered her head nervously, her toes curling. She heard Qin Wan continue, "In the company, everyone should complete their own work independently. Only when there are real difficulties should you seek help from colleagues." Sun Qian quickly agreed. Su Kong felt bad seeing Sun Qian like this and said, "Mom, I offered to help. Don't blame Sister Sun." Qin Wan thought to herself, "What's gotten into me? Why am I getting upset with a junior employee?" She softened her tone and said, "You can go back to work now." Sun Qian agreed, grabbed the 2 computer monitors, and quickly disappeared. Qin Wan turned to Zhao Rong and said, "You go back to work too. If anything comes up at the company, call me anytime." Zhao Rong nodded and returned to her post. Qin Wan said to Su Kong, "Let's go to your grandpa's. But do you want to go home and shower first?" Su Kong checked the time. It was already 10:30 a.m. He said, "No need, it's already 10:30. Qin Wan nodded, and they went downstairs to the car to go to the Su family. After Qin Wan and her son left, the office buzzed with discussion. Sun Qian stormed into the General Affairs Department and vented her anger at Qin Man, asking why she had to have a name that sounded like the president's. Qin Man was confused at first, but after hearing Sun Qian's story, she burst into laughter and said, "Sun Qian, are you stupid? I'm only 34. Where would I get a son that old?" For a long time afterward, colleagues would greet Sun Qian with, "Sister Sun, assign me some work too. I also want to be President Qin's child." Sun Qian would always slink away in embarrassment. On the other side, Qin Wan led Su Kong to the same hotel as last night. There were obviously many more people at noon today. Su Kong not only saw the entrepreneurs who had appeared in news reports, but also many movie stars. Su Kong searched for a long time, but didn't see Wang Nan, feeling a little disappointed. Lunch was another lively affair with Gongchu Jiaozo, until 1:30 p.m., when the guests gradually dispersed, leaving only some close relatives of the Su family, as well as several close friends of Qin Wan, who were also her business partners. Everyone returned to the Su family home. Qin Wan and her friends discussed the future economic development in a side room. Aunt Su Xiaolan was also very interested in this topic and joined them after arranging the guests. Grandfather was drinking tea and discussing the domestic and international situation with several old friends. Grandma and several of her old friends had already started playing cards, laughing and talking happily. The older generation, like the uncle and second uncle, were either playing mahjong or cards. This is the national situation in China. Whenever a family reunites, mahjong and cards are inevitable. Among Su Kang's generation, the eldest was his uncle's son, Su Chong. He took out a deck of playing cards and said, "Brothers, let's play Jia Jinhua." Uncle's second son, Su Bin, sat down on a stool and said, "I'm in." Su Chong joked, "You, an official, are coming to gamble with us. Do you think it's appropriate?" Su Bin replied, "Bullshit. I'm playing cards." Su Chong said to a fat guy next to him, "Wang Tao, arrest this guy and put him in jail." Su Bin was furious, but Wang Tao said, "All right, stop teasing Brother Bin. I'm in too." Wang Tao's grandfather was a longtime friend of Su Jinjiang, and Wang Tao was already familiar with the Su family. He was used to the way these brothers interacted, Su Chong grinned at Su Bin. I told you not to come, but you insisted. Today, you're going to bleed heavily. Be careful, Xiao AI might not let you in the house tonight. Su Bin retorted. I'm afraid that when you go home tonight, your wife will make you kneel on a washboard. Su Kong watched these two clowns from the side and laughed. Su Chong pulled up a stool and said, Xiao Kong, play a few hands with your brothers. Then he shouted to Qin Wan. Third aunt, can I play cards with Xiao Kong? Qin Wan said, Of course, Xiao Kong just arrived in the capital. You brothers should take care of him in the future. Su Bin said, Don't worry, third aunt. But Su Kong said, But I don't know how to play cards. Qin Wan took out a bank card and a stack of cash from her bag and said, It doesn't matter if you lose when playing cards with family. Just have fun. Su Kong took the bank card and cash, and Qin Wan said, The password for this card is 6/8. It's for your living expenses. I have to go to the company now. I'll pick you up tonight. Su Kong agreed and took a seat. In the end, 7 people participated. The uncle's 2 sons Su Chong and Su Bin, the second uncle's youngest son Su Chi, Su Kong, Wang Tao, and 2 other cousins of the Su family. Su Kong didn't know how to play, but after all, he was a high school graduate who scored more than 600 points in the college entrance examination. After playing a few hands and familiarizing himself with the rules, he gradually became comfortable. They played until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when Su Kang's cell phone rang. Su Kong answered the phone, and Wang Nan's voice came from the other end. I sent you a lot of messages on QQ. Why didn't you reply? Su Kong said, Sorry, I didn't notice. Wang Nan said, Are you at the Su family's house now? Su Kong said yes, and Wang Nan said, Zhao Li and I will be there soon. Sure enough, within a few minutes, Wang Nan and Zhao Li appeared at the Su family home. Grandma Qin Yurong saw them and said with a smile, Oh, you 2 little girls are here again. Wang Nan and Zhao Li had been to the Su family yesterday, so Grandma was a little curious to see them now. Zhao Li stepped forward and said, Grandma Chun, we're here to take Su Kong out to play. Wang Nan also said, Grandma Chun, it's Zhao Li's birthday today. We, the younger generation, are going out to sing and eat. Su Kong hasn't been to the capital before, so we're taking him out to have some fun. We're all the same age, so we'll definitely have a good time together. Qin Yurong said with a smile. Okay, he's playing cards inside. I'll go get him. Zhao Li said, No need, Grandma Chun, we'll go in ourselves. She took Wang Nan's hand and walked into the house. As soon as they entered the room, they saw the Su family brothers gathered around playing cards. Zhao Li said, Yo, you're still playing cards. Who's winning and who's treating? Su Chong had bad luck all afternoon and was feeling frustrated. He said, Let Su Bin treat. He stepped in dog shit this afternoon and won a lot. Su Bin chuckled and said calmly, No problem. Unlike someone who is bad at playing but still loves to play. This sentence made Su Chong's ears turn red. He snorted and said nothing. Seeing that Su Chong was silent, Su Bin turned to Wang Nan and asked, Why are you here? Zhao Li said, We're taking Su Kong out to play. Everyone looked at Su Kong, who blushed and said, It's Zhao Li's birthday today. Su Chong said, Sister Zhao Li, why didn't you invite your brother Chong to play? Zhao Li rolled her eyes and said, Brother Chong? You're old enough to be my Uncle Chong. Everyone laughed. Su Bin was even happier seeing Su Chong's expression as if he had eaten shit. He took out a stack of cash and said, Sister Zhao Li is good with words. Your expenses tonight are on me. Zhao Li happily took the money and said, Brother Bin is mighty. Brother Bin is generous. Brother Bin will make a fortune in the future. Su Chong was even more upset after hearing this. He lost tens of thousands in the afternoon and was ridiculed by a little girl. He pushed his cards away and said, I'm not playing anymore, let's quit. Seeing Su Chong leave, Su Bin stopped laughing and said to Zhao Li, What are you playing tonight? Don't take Xiao Kong to any messy places like bars. Zhao Li said, No, we're just going to sing and eat. Su Bin asked, How many of you are there? Are they all girls? Zhao Li said, 8 or 9, mostly girls. Su Bin looked at Su Chi, the second son of the second uncle, who was studying for a master's degree at the National Defense University. He said, Su Chi, do you have time tonight? Go out and play with these young people. Su Chi knew that Su Bin was worried about their safety. He had nothing to do tonight, so he readily agreed. Wang Tao, who was listening on the side, said, Count me in. I haven't sung in a long time, and my throat is a little itchy. So, Zhao Li and Wang Nin took one car, driven by Zhao's driver, and Su Chi, Wang Tao, and Su Kong took another car, driven by Su Chi. On the way, Su Kong called Qin Wan and briefly explained that he was going out with Wang Nan to celebrate Zhao Li's birthday. Qin Wan was also worried about safety. Su Kong said that Su Chi and Wang Tao were also there. One was a graduate student at the National Defense University, and the other was the deputy director of a public security bureau in a certain district of the capital. Qin was relieved. Soon the car arrived at the destination, a KTV. There were already 2 men and 5 women waiting at the door. Zhao Li greeted them casually. Su Kong, Su Qi, and Wang Tao got out of the car and heard a girl scream. "Wow, Zhao Li, you really brought Su Kong out." Zhao Li raised her head and said, "Who do you think this young lady is?" One of the boys didn't know who Su Kong was and asked the girl next to him in a low voice. The girl whispered, "A new prince from the capital." She interlocked her index fingers when she spoke, indicating that they were a couple. Another boy obviously heard the girl's introduction. He looked at Su Kong warily and walked up to Zhao Li, saying, "We don't know Su Kong well. Isn't it awkward for you to bring him here?" Zhao Li glanced at him and said, "We don't know each other well, so we should interact more. Otherwise, how can we become friends?" The boy was speechless. He looked at Su Qi and Zhao Pu behind Su Kong. They looked much more mature and obviously older. He asked, "Who are these 2? Zhao Li was about to introduce them, but Su Qi spoke first. "You guys play by yourselves. Don't worry about us." Then, Su Qi whispered in Su Kang's ear, "You go play with them, Wang Tao, and I will open a private room next to you. Call us if anything happens." Su Kong said, "Aren't you going with us?" Su Qi said with a smile, "Wang Tao and I are 2 old rough guys. We can't play with you young people." Zhao Li had no objection to Su Qi's words. She felt that Su Qi was always acting like an elder, which made her uncomfortable. She said, "Let's go in. I've already booked the private room." Wang Nan deliberately took a step slower, walking at the back with Su Kong, and said, "The boy who just spoke is called Lu Ji. His family is in business, and he was a high school classmate of Zhao Li. He has been pursuing Zhao Li all along." Wang Nan continued, "The girl with a boyfriend is called Su Jin. Her grandfather and your grandfather are old friends. She even attended your banquet yesterday, and during the banquet, she made a bet with Zhao Li, betting on whether you would come to her birthday party today." Su Kong said speechlessly, "Is this how you rich people play?" Wang Nan gave him a speechless look, thinking to herself, "Who here is richer than you?" Su Kong continued to ask, "What about Su Jin's boyfriend? What kind of person is he?" Wang Nan said, "Her boyfriend is called Lu Jinghua. He's just from an ordinary family." She hasn't dared to tell her family about her relationship, fearing their opposition. Su Kong said, "After all, they're still in school. They shouldn't neglect their studies because of a relationship." Wang Nan looked at Su Kong as if he were an alien and said, "Please, they are practically university students now. How can they not be allowed to date?" Su Kong asked curiously, "Then why doesn't she dare to let her family know?" Wang Nan glanced at Su Kong and said, "I know why. Because it's about matching social status." Su Kong felt a pang of emotion, not knowing what to say. Then he heard Zhao Li shouting from the front, "What are you 2 whispering about? Come on in." Su Kong and Wang Nan entered a large private room. The lights inside were dazzling and colorful. It was Su Kang's first time at a KTV, and he wasn't used to this kind of environment. He sat down on the edge of the sofa, and Wang Nan naturally sat down beside him. Lu Ji was choosing a song and felt uncomfortable seeing Su Kong and Wang Nan sitting together. That's how young boys are. Even if they know the girl doesn't like them, they still feel jealous if she likes another man. Lu Ji deliberately said, "Wang Nan, why don't you choose some songs too?" Wang Nan pretended not to hear and turned to Su Kong, saying, "What songs do you like? Do you want to choose some?" Su Kong had never experienced this before, and with so many people around, he was a little afraid of making a fool of himself. He said, "No need, I'll just watch." Hearing this, Wang Nan didn't insist. She went to the song selection area, picked a few of her favorite songs, and after thinking for a while, added a few popular hits, then returned to sit beside Su Kong. Zhao Li had just finished ordering drinks, snacks, and fruit at the bar outside. As soon as she entered the room, she saw Su Kong and Wang Nan sitting together. She walked up to them, her big eyes scanning their faces. Wang Nan felt awkward under her gaze and scolded, "Zhao Li, are you crazy? Why are you staring at me?" Zhao Li wasn't annoyed. She said, "Spill it. What's going on between you 2? Are you together now?" Su Kong blushed and quickly said, "No, don't talk nonsense." "Then why are you sitting so close together?" Zhao Li chuckled. "I knew it. You 2 were betrothed since childhood, so now you have a telepathic connection and have developed feelings for each other. You are destined to be together. Why don't I have such a faithful love?" The other girls were chattering and picking their own songs. But Zhao Li, with her outgoing personality and loud voice, had everyone's attention. After she spoke, several girls curiously gathered around, talking all at once. Wang Nan's face was flushed, whether from Zhao Li's teasing or the attention from everyone. it was hard to tell. Su Kong quickly said, "You've got it all wrong. Wang Nan and I are just normal friends." Lu Ji chimed in from the side. Who believes in arranged marriages these days? Su Kong felt a surge of gratitude. Lu Ji was actually speaking up for him. Wang Nan stood up and said, "The Su and Wang families have been friends for generations. It's normal for me to be close to Su Kong. Why don't you go and gossip about Su Jin and Lu Jinghua?" Su Jin smiled and said, "Everyone has already heard about me and Lu Jinghua. Your story is fresh and ripe. Tell us honestly, are you two really in that kind of relationship?" Wang Nan retorted, "None of your business." Zhao Li knew that Wang Nan usually had a well-behaved image and didn't want to tease her too much. She said, "All right, let's stop gossiping, or we'll scare Wang Nan away. Let's choose songs and sing." Everyone knew when to stop and return to their seats. Just then, the waiter brought in the drinks and fruit. So, everyone started singing, drinking, and the birthday party resumed its normal rhythm. Lu Ji opened a bottle of red wine and poured a small glass for each of the girls. Then he walked up to Lu Jinghua and asked, "What about you, beer or red wine?" Lu Jinghua grabbed a beer from the table and said, "I'll have beer." Lu Ji then went to Su Kong and asked, "What about you, beer or red wine?" Su Kong said embarrassedly, "Sorry, I don't drink." Lu Ji showed a sarcastic expression and said sarcastically, "What kind of man doesn't drink?" Zhao Li quickly pulled Lu Ji back and said, "Su Kong is my friend. Watch your attitude." Lu Ji might not be aware of Su Kang's background, but she was. He was someone no one present could afford to offend. Lu Ji's expression became awkward, and he stopped talking. Wang Nan poured a glass of juice for Su Kong and said, "You can have juice." Wang Nan stood up and said with a smile to everyone, "Let's toast to Zhao Li first." Everyone stood up, raised their glasses, and said to Zhao Li, "Zhao Li, happy birthday." After that, everyone downed their drinks in one gulp. Of course, only Su Kong drank juice. After everyone put down their glasses, Zhao Li took the microphone and started singing the first song, a classic called Calixiang. Although she was outgoing and a bit rough around